What is going on, guys? This is Dom from Grand Central Mafia, baby. Woo! And we're here with our weekly locals tournament winner. My cousin Zach ended up topping with his leader Kuzan that he's been repping for OP12. Zach, why don't you explain to us what this leader does and how the deck works, basically?
Yeah, sure. So Kuzan, he's a Navy type, 5 life, blue leader.
Yep.
When a card is trashed from your hand by your own Navy type card effects, draw cards equal to the number of cards trashed. So
Very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. The benefit with this deck is every Navy type card, for the most part, that has some sort of effect or some sort of ability that causes you to trash cards from your hand, essentially lets you filter through the cards that you don't want or don't need at the times, as well as trashing cards that are not Navy type, to hopefully find some other things that you do want. And that's the base of it. You're constantly keeping an equal hand size by losing cards from your Navy abilities, but you're getting their abilities going off by trashing cards.
Super consistent.
Very consistent.
Super uber consistent. That's why he basically got onto this deck. He played he's been playing the blue Dofi, but then that card kind of got like murdered by Jinbei. But my boy likes playing blue, so he transitioned to Kuzan. We got him a little cool leader there. Spice. So obviously you went 3-0.
Yes.
Let's just hop right into the deck list. I know you got some spicy cards in here.
Yeah, something a little bit of spice. So let's start with the 2Ks.
2Ks.
We've got Hina, 3 for a 3. The big thing with her is that activate main, you can, again, rest this character and trash a card, which allows that filter.
So it's like a free filter, right?
Exactly.
And any other deck that wouldn't be like a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you just be pitching a card for nothing.
For the ability that she gets.
Yeah.
It's, again, doesn't always help if you are losing cards from your hand. Up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 4 or less cannot activate blocker during this turn.
Okay.
It's the best way I can think of it is like the Perfume Femur that was in Dofi, or like a Hody Jones in Bonnie, like something that nullifies their ability to block you if you're going for a game. And
it's a good finisher.
It's very nice, and especially the fact that it's a 4 or less blocker. It deals with those little chump guys.
For sure.
And if you can, play out one of those at the end, or even 2 if you need to, it's a smaller grab blade equivalent of 6 down versus 7 if you play 2 that stops their blockers and allows you to allocate those down to different characters to attack, which I just love that as a finisher. It's come in clutch a few times.
For sure. Even if you want to like swing at the board, right? Like you can just like establish her.
Yeah.
And like this is like an activate main effect. So you can technically do this like every single turn. And like if your opponent doesn't answer it, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna get a free filter every turn, and then like you're not gonna be able to block.
Exactly.
So great card.
It's a little more difficult to not answer because it does require you to rest her, as opposed to like a Black
For
Warrior,
sure.
which doesn't need that, or
It's
a Teach,
essentially like blocks for you, right?
Yeah, it's a nice little. I mean, in fact, it's a 3K body as well. Requires some investment
For sure.
that. You won't be able to do like a 2K searcher.
All right.
Next up, we got Zephyr. On play immediately, you trash 2 cards from your hand, which again with Kuzan's ability, you get to draw 2 back. It's a 5 cost, 5,000, which in and of itself is not a bad stat line right there. But the fact he's also 2K is great.
That was great.
And then activate main, you may trash this card and then turn up to one character with a cost of 5 or less to their owner's hand. This is great to establish, and then on the next turn swing with it, and then rather than having to leave him open to be swung into, trash him and then bounce a 5 cost to your opponent's hand, or if you need to bounce something to your own hand as well to get some counter back.
For
also
sure.
really good. I've actually, when I went against the blue Kuzan yesterday, he did a Zephyr to bounce my, I want to say it was a Borsalino or a Sengoku, but I think he forgot about the Borsalino effect, so I just had a trash card from hand that kept him, but we'll get to Borsalino later.
But searchable card too, right? And did we say the on play too? Trash
yeah,
too.
the on play,
So
yeah,
it's like
trash too.
it's like a free filter too, on play. So that's really good too.
Yeah.
And a 5/5 body. I mean, dude, it's not bad. Like searchable 2K. Like all the 2Ks in this deck. I mean, we didn't get into 2 yet, but like all the 2Ks are like super playable cards. Which
Absolutely.
I know you've been enjoying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So next 2K.
Yep, next up, again, 2K with Suru. It's a 5/4. On play, you may trash 2 cards from your hand. So right there, again, you
So
get
free filter for 2.
Exactly, another 2 filter.
Because leader ability activates every single time one of your Navy cards.
Yes.
And that's very specific because like I know some people like to when you're first getting into the deck, you like to like experiment with like other cards, but it is specifically Navy cards that you have to trash to get the free filter.
Correct. And then if you do this, trashing 2, which again is on play, you don't have to. Your opponent returns one of their characters to their owner's hand. This is so much fun to do against like a big body, because if you've cleared the board through different means, we'll get to Aramaki, Grab Blade, Sables later. But if you're able to clear that board and make it so there's just one big boss monster, you play that card out for 5 and it bounces directly to your opponent's hand. Doesn't matter if it costs 5 Don to play or if it costs 10. You're getting rid of that body and taking away your opponent's last turn if it was a big boss monster. I wanted to do a tricky play with that against a red-green Law yesterday when they dropped a 9-drop Zoro. Didn't get to that point, but I had that plan going because that card, the ability right there to filter as well as establish a body and also get rid of one of your opponent's bodies is so huge. A thing with this that you don't get with this card that you do with Zephyr. Zephyr, you choose which card you return to their hand. Suru, it's they choose. But if there's only one card to return, then that is the one card that gets returned. But yeah, really, really good card. Again, it's a 5/4, so playable as a body to swing with, but also the fact that you get that effect is
yeah,
huge.
Those are just the 2Ks.
Yeah, just the 2Ks right off the bat. So
12 2Ks, how's that been working for you? Wish you had more, wish you had less?
I've really been enjoying the 12 2Ks. There is one that I've seen in some Kuzan, Gion, I believe is the name of it.
Yeah, the Navy card?
Yeah, the Navy card that effectively when she's played out, you have the ability to, every time your opponent would trigger, once per turn, when your opponent triggers an event, they have to pitch one card from their hand. And that card is really interesting for me just because going into a Kuzan Mirror, it negates Pheasant Pack as
Blue-purple plays a lot of events too.
Rayleigh especially, with just that deck. But I haven't experimented with that one yet. I've been very content with these 2Ks. I could see feasibly, I guess, going down one of each of those 2Ks and then bring in 3 of Gion.
For sure.
Maybe futz around with that, but I do like the 12. It's a nice spot and it's very comfortable, especially with a lot of the other 1K counters that I have throughout the deck.
Awesome.
So next up we're going to go to some of the events.
Yep.
Sables. This one is not Navy, so it's not searchable through other means. But the trigger is awesome. It activates card's main effect, and for 4 Don, you return one character with a cost of 7 or less to the owner's hand. This can be your opponent or it could be yours. This is something that Don was actually talking to me about. You feasibly could play Sables on your 10 Don turn, bounce the Kuzan back to your hand, and then play it out.
Technically, you could, yeah.
Just some, fun little
swing with Kuzan, play Sables, play it again.
Back and then make it so that your opponent can't attack with him. But again, we'll get into him later. But that card is so nice because it's like a Gravity Blade Light. It doesn't cost as much Don to use, but you're also able to get a bigger body taken care of. And I mean, up to 7 Don, like those are some pretty substantial characters to worry about. So that's a grab blade for the earlier game.
And you still draw a lot of cards, right? Like you're drawing every turn you get to use leader effect. Yes. So you can nat draw like a lot of your pieces. Mm-hmm. So I think 2 is pretty good.
Yeah, I just had 2 there because it effectively it could do like 2 of these 2 grab blades. You could do 4 either way. I like the versatility of having Gravity Blade as well as Sables for the triggers and also to play out depending on who I'm playing against and what I'm needed.
Yeah, for sure. Now you said it. You love it. Gravity Blade.
Yeah, Gravity Blade. Now this one, the best part about this is that it is Navy searchable. So when you do a Sengoku or a Toshigi search, you're able to choose this card. Off of trigger, you bottom deck a 5 or less, which is just always so nice to feel off of a trigger there. But also then for your main, for 7 Don, you bottom deck 2 characters with a cost of 6 or less to their owner's deck. And that right there, if they do play out a 4 and a 5 cost character or a 5 and a 6 or something like that, you're able to net more value than your opponent's getting for cost of 7 Don. You're able to feasibly get up to 12 Don removed from the board, which is always so powerful. And even if it is 2 smaller guys, thinking to Rayleigh, getting rid of 2 Luffys, getting rid of a Luffy and a Sanji, you're getting about the same Don value cost that you're losing. But it again feels very, very nice to take those characters off the board and just end that momentum. It's a bit hard to deciding on a 7 Don turn to play out a Kuzan, a Sakazuki, or a Grab Blade, depending on what you have and what your opponent has. But again, that's something you get a feel for and you determine as you are needed throughout the game. But
for sure.
Love Grab Blade. It was a staple in the Gofi deck.
Yeah.
And just being able to continue it off with blue, it's a staple in this one, I feel.
Super good in this deck, too, because when you have your big bodies established, it's like always your best mid-range play after, right?
Easily, yeah.
Because you already have huge bodies and then...
Especially if you're able to get a Garp, which we'll get into later, that you can Garp into another one of your big bodies. You have 2 big ones established. Getting rid of 2 of those smaller guys is so helpful, and you can focus a lot more heavily on the big bodies.
Right on, right on. So you got one more event here?
Yeah, one more event, Pheasant Peck. This one I feel like is specifically very good in this deck, not too good for the rest of the blue decks I've found. Again, Navy, so it is searchable. On trigger, you can trash this. You can trash one card from your hand and then draw a card. So again,
Has that ever came up?
It's been something that's happened off a trigger, but I've never used it as a trigger.
Would that trigger leader ability then?
That would, because it's a Navy card that is causing you to trash a card from your hand.
Interesting.
I personally prefer to have it in hand because the ability for one Don, you get to one of your leaders or characters 4,000 power, and then you trash one card from your hand. Then again, with leader ability, it allows you a free filter, so you can feasibly trash a brick from your hand that you have no need for and draw into a 2K. Very Gum Giant-esque. But
wait, you get to play Gum Giant in this deck? That's crazy. It's searchable too?
It's a searchable Gum Giant, yeah.
Crazy.
And for one Don, and I'm not losing any Don to
wow.
it. But yeah, it's
broken.
For this deck, it is very, very good. The filter ability, the plus 4,000, especially on the top end that we get. If we get like a big body swinging into one of my 8Ks, being able to do a Pheasant Pack to bring up to a 12K and then counter out with a 1 or 2K is so much better than having to dump 3 cards in hand to keep one of those big guys alive.
For sure.
So that one is it is one of the, I think, best defensive parts of this deck. And if you were to play less 2Ks, it's more justified because you have this Pheasant Pack to help your defensive capabilities. But I just like having more counter and
of course
defensive things in general.
More counter is always better.
Exactly. Speaking of defensive, I've got 2 little blocker guys here. We've got Maynard, who is also Navy, 2 cost, 2K blocker, 1K counter. Just very nice stat line to have there. You know, play out little weenie there. It's great for a little bit of early game play, as well as Trafalgar Law. He is not searchable, but again, it's a 1 cost character for a blocker. The great thing with these ones, the thing that I find with this deck is in the early game, there's not always a ton that you really can do. So these ones give you a little bit more versatility to play something out in that turn 1, turn 2, where you're not seeing what you need.
Yeah, like when Sengoku and Toshigi aren't always like the exact right play, and you already have like all your pieces, these offer a ton of like versatility.
Absolutely.
Like later in the game too, right?
Yeah, later in the game for sure. Because again, if you play an 8 cost Garb on your 10 Don turn, that lets you to go into any of these other big guys you have.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. All those guys later. Still having a Don or 2 Don left to play out a Law, to play out a main.
Yeah, that's actually
crazy.
crazy
Blocker is so good.
Yeah, on 10 you can feasibly Garp, Body, Law, leave 1 up for Peck.
Exactly.
That's like your ideal play, probably.
On 10 Don, that is, I think, one of the best things. Especially if you get into an Aramaki, that gives you a big body blocker as well as a small body blocker. It's so nice.
For sure. I love that little blocker package. Speaking of blockers, do you want to touch on the last one really quick?
On Aramaki?
There is 2 more. Okay, we can keep rolling.
We got 4 blockers.
We'll keep rolling then. Yeah. Lots of blockers.
Big fan of defense this
So
deck.
searcher package.
Oh yeah, searcher package. We've got Sengoku, a 3 cost, 3,000, 1K counter. Very nice stat line that by itself, but even better for this, on play you trash 1 card from your hand, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then reveal 2 Navy characters. And then you add them to your hand, and then you may place the rest of them at the bottom of your deck in any order. So that alone right there, you play out a card, you trash a card, you get 2 new Navy cards from your deck. That is breaking hand in hand size. Amazing. Then you put into effect the leader ability, which lets you draw 1 more card after that. You are able to essentially, from the top 6 cards of your deck, get 3 of them, and you get to choose 2 of them. So if you're looking for a Peck, if you're looking for a top-end Garp into something else, if you're looking for a little blocker Maynard, if you're looking for 2K, you get 3 shots out of 6, 2 of which are guaranteed. Which is really, really nice. You said earlier when Sengoku or Toshigi are not the right play. There's very seldom that I've found where Sengoku is not the right play on 3 or even on 5.
It's such a good card, bro.
It's great. You're gaining a card in hand at the end of your turn, plus you're establishing a body that for 2 Don you can swing into, and even later on in the game, if you have the Sakazuki established, you can give a rested Don onto him. It's a good investment, especially on your earlier turns when there's not a ton you really can do with that.
And like going back to the versatility part of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Sengoku, I've seen with a lot of lists that people are actually cutting this down to 3 because they're saying that it's only good to play on your 3 or 4 Don turn. We kind of
we played around with that for a moment. We did have a time where we were playing with 3 of them.
It's a very polarizing card because I feel like with this version of the list that you've made, You are, and you've actually like proven it because in your mirror match you actually did. This card did win you the game. There was a. I'll let you get into it right now. Actually.
Yeah. So in the mirror match, we're gonna go to the beginning of the match. We both had 10 cards in our hand, and my opponent was able to drop a pudding on me.
And the pudding with 10 was brutal.
And the pudding was brutal. So I went from 10 cards to 5. He still had 10. One of my pudding was in my last life. Didn't see that the entire game. One of them was just at the bottom deck after being searched through Tashigi and Sengoku. And that was just brutal. But at the end of the game, I got my opponent worked down to, I think he had 2 life left. I had 2 life left, and I was planning on doing a couple little pokes there, but he had 2 down up.
He did have down up.
He had 2 down up, yeah.
He had 3 pecks in trash already.
No, he had 2 down up, 2 pecks in trash.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I attacked with Garp, and I was foolish. I swung, I think, 8 into him directly, and Peck was, of course, just enough with it being 4K.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, he's got 3 pecks in trash, now he's got 1 down up. What's the chance he actually has it? But I was like, wait a minute, he might actually probably have it.
Yeah.
So what I did was I played on Sengoku, did my search, and I found Maynard. I already had a Law established on the board as a blocker. I had a Borsalino. No, I didn't have Law. I had Borsalino established as a blocker. We'll get into him later. But then getting that Maynard, being able to put that out there with all the counter I had in my hand.
Was it Maynard Pack that you searched? Or was it Maynard 2K?
It was Maynard 2K that I
Maynard
searched.
2K, yeah,
And then
yeah.
I think I drew into a pack.
You drew into the pack.
I already had a pack in hand.
And I mean, that's like the versatility that this card offers with like this build specifically. Like, you can feasibly do that. Like, search for your blocker cards, or like your counter event to like stall one more turn. Like that's been an insane card for you at 4.
It really has been. And again, he searches Navy, anything but him, and the fact that every card, but I think 6 of these cards are Navy, lends itself that you can search the majority of the entire deck.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Tashigi, she's your 1 cost 2K searcher for 1K counter. On play, you play her out, look at the top 5, choose 1 Navy card, and then put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. On turn 1, it's ideal for me if I'm going first to play her and find a Sengoku. If I don't have one, if I do have a Sengoku, then I'm looking more so for establishing that make sure I have 2 2K counters in hand and then something on my top end.
Yeah, make sure you curve out.
Exactly. And if it's on my second turn, or if I'm going second, it's even better because I can play, first of all, I get to draw, which is fantastic. Then you get to play out a Tashigi and then play out a Law if you have it in hand. And just having those 2 bodies established on turn 1 is so nice, especially knowing that the next turn you can send Goku and then have a feasible 6K swing at face. It just, second with this deck is very, very nice and it curves out very well. Not to say the first doesn't, but second
For
is
sure. And then if we forget to talk about this with the little thing you could do with Tashigi and Aramaki, do you want to touch on that really quick?
Oh,
you could just talk about like Aramaki right now. I guess.
Yeah, let's bounce to the top end over here. So Aramaki is an 8 cost, 8,000 body. All the boss monsters here are 8K, which is really, really nice. And for the 8 cost you have him, he's a blocker. Already by itself is fantastic.
Great.
But then for activate main once per turn, you can trash 1 card from your hand.
Trigger leader ability.
Exactly. There is fantastic. I get to draw that. And then you can bottom deck a character with a cost of 2 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So and that
doesn't specify
exactly.
opponents.
So you can do your opponents if you're playing any of those guys that play little weenies. It's great to get rid of them and run their characters down. But also, if you're on the end where they have nothing out there, if you have a Tashigi established, you bottom deck your Tashigi, trash a card, filter, and then you get to make this 8K blocker an 11K attack, which is so strong. He loses that 11K ability and he goes back to an 8K on your opponent's turn. But to like as a finisher have like a big body swinging into something is so nice.
Broken.
It's very, very good. And the fact that again this deck has the 4 Tashigi, but also the 2 Law and the 2 Maynard, there's 8 feasible targets you could have on your side, not counting your opponents. Because more often than not, I find they will have some 1 cost from the start of the game by the time he makes it on board and is able to start doing damage.
Yeah.
And that's so nice. Or even towards the end of the game if they need to find something. I'm thinking about Bonnie playing out, or the 1 cost Bonnie. I'm thinking about Zoro playing out the Perona, the 1 cost there. Any of those cards can all be targeted by this. Dom's girl Reiju, with the Cosettes as well as the Choppers and the Sanji. There's many targets there. And that's just an awesome
and it's actually I'm just thinking out loud right now. So like, if you're consistently bottom decking the opponent's low cost characters and they're like a top end deck, you can technically like late game still slam Subaru. It helps you play her later, if that makes sense.
That
to
was-
get value out of her.
That was exactly what I was planning on doing against the Red-Green Law yesterday. He had the Zoro, the 9 cost, he had the 5 cost blocker law, and he had a Perona out there. So we did his ability there, and we were going to have an 11k swing going into Zoro, hoping that he was going to blocker law and just let that character die. Which, did happen, but then how things ended up working, he scooped because of a misplay that he acknowledged. But then I had a suitor in hand, so for 5 costs, I was going to be able to bounce that 9 cost Zoro back to his hand to save me from taking 3 10k attacks or whatever. And that is so helpful in those matchups where there's all those little weenies that stay active and you can't swing into. So he does give a lot of value there.
For sure. And then, do you want to talk about the Garp?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna just go down the top end here. Garp, he is the Jinbei of this deck.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, which again allows for the leader ability to cycle through, and then play up to 1 blue navy type character with 8,000 power or less. And other than Monkey D. Garp from your hand. So the great thing with this is we have Aramaki, we have Sakazuki, and we have Kuzan that are all 8,000 power. But then beyond that, we have the blocker Borsalino. We have Sengoku if I need to get more cards in hand. We have Maynard to play out if I want to play out a blocker. And we also have all of the 2Ks, which we've acknowledged.
You have Tashigi.
Tashigi, the best play in the game. But we have all of the 2K blockers that can also establish, bigger bodies, that can have different abilities, the ability to bounce my opponent's characters. That card has so many targets that are all beneficial. There's really it doesn't feel like there's a wrong choice with how much versatility this deck has and how nice it can be to go into any of these cards.
For sure. And that was definitely the card in the mirror that set you over the edge, right?
He didn't see any of his top end. I think he saw 1 Sakazuki, where I saw, 2 of my Garps.
And you went second.
He went second.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So that was just good luck on me. Oh wait, no, you're right. I did go second.
I thought you did go second.
Right,
Yeah.
It was a different match.
Win dice roll goes second.
Exactly. Yes, precisely. But yeah, Garb is the cornerstone that cascades into more of these bigger bodies. The Gecko Moria, the Jinbei, the whatever you want to compare him to, it's
for sure
very nice. And also, Mamo got me an awesome little alt right there. So
sick card.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Speaking of the big bodies.
Yeah, big bodies go to Sakazuki next for 7 Don, another 8K body. On play, if your leader has a Navy type, you just draw 2 cards. So right off the bat, you get a big body established, and you get 2 cards in hand. It gives you positive card draw, which is amazing. But then if you want to activate main, you may trash a card from your hand. And this can also be done on play. And then give up to 1 of your character's arrested Don card to your leader or character. Sorry, misread that.
You're good.
But the fact that for 7 Don, you can play him out, leader ability. If we play him out, draw 2 cards, do his ability, trash a card, filter, get another card from hand.
So you're seeing 3 cards?
You're seeing 3 cards. 2
and if you play him off of Garp, you're seeing 4?
If you play off of Garp, you're going to be seeing 4 because Garp is
4 new cards.
Yes. And then you're able to take one of those rested Don and put that onto another character. That is just so huge. I'm thinking of like a 10 Don turn. You play a Garp into a Sakazuki. You do that ability. You put a rested Don on your leader. You attach another Don. You swing 7. You establish 2 AK bodies, and you still have a Don up for Fezipek.
And then you get the free cycle every single turn because the card's going to activate main.
Activate main once per turn.
So you get to cycle the most dead card in your hand every turn and just draw.
And then the on play that you get to just gain 2.
Yeah, on play draw 2, pretty good.
And if you draw into 2 bricks, you can cycle through that same turn with him. It's very, very nice.
For sure.
Moving on down to the bottom of our top end here, we've got Kuzan. Again, another card. I do too. It almost feels bad running 3 of them, but it's just first of all, it's a 6 cost, 8,000. So again, it can be targeted by Garp because he is Navy, but it also can be played on the 6 Don turn or the 7 Don turn before Garp gets out, which is great.
For sure.
If you have 5 or more cards in hand, he also goes up to being a 7 cost. So it's nice to have a.
Ooh, that's relevant.
It is
like in a Gravity Blade world, right?
Exactly. Yesterday in the mirror match, I got grab bladed, and he was a target of it when I had 2 cards in hand, and I was like, oh shoot, yep, it's when you have 5 or more. So that's amazing. The fact he becomes a 7 cost. And then on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, again, with leader ability, gives you that.
Just a free filter.
Free filter. Then up to 1 of your opponent's characters cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next end phase, which just shuts them down for the next turn. If there's if you're worried about a big monster body that you don't want to swing into going sideways, you need to find a way to stall or delay. That is just a
Say,
great.
hey, you can't do anything.
Exactly. Or if there's any thing like Carrot or Cavendish for Bonnie specifically, if you're able to stop them from freezing things when they attack, if
For
they
sure.
can't attack, they don't get that benefit. And
Yeah,
that's
that
just,
seems like the cardigan in a Carrot Cavendish. Even when Zoro plays like a Tashigi, you don't get to attack next turn.
Yep, it just all those
Pretty
things.
good.
It's really nice.
Great card.
We only run 3 of them. We did have 4 Cruzan and 4 Sakazuki, but we then went down to 3 and put in 2 of the Aramaki, and Aramaki's been the right choice. We futzed around with the ratios of the 2 of them as well as Garp, and just having 4 of the Garp and 3 of each of them has turned out to be the best choice.
It really has. Specifically, seeing it into aggro, the Aramaki helps, so much.
Yeah.
When I was playing Kuzan at the beginning of this meta, I was a bit skeptical on this card, but it for sure puts in work. Especially, playing specifically Ray, aggro decks against Kuzan, this is the card that helps you stabilize for sure.
Without a doubt.
So I definitely like those ratios a lot.
Yeah. Going down to our final blocker.
Blocker.
We got Borsellino. This is an incredible card. 4 cost, 5,000 power, and again, a 1k counter. And as you can see, I do like the blockers and the defensive capabilities of this deck. This is something that I find helps overcome and make up for that early game turmoil you'll take of not having too much to do. Once per turn, if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may trash 1 card from your hand instead. Again, trashing 1 card just gives you that filter.
Yep.
But that ability came in super relevant yesterday when I was in the mirror match. I was about to eat a Grab Blade, which would have taken out the Borsellino and the Kuzan. But because of that ability right there, I was able to pitch a card from my hand, free cycle, get I think I pitched a brick for a 2k.
Yeah.
And then I was able to keep him in the game, and my opponent completely was like, oh shoot, that's right, I can't do that.
Broken.
And it's so nice. The fact that also on your opponent's turn, if your leader has a Navy type, this character gains blocker and plus 1,000 power. So if you were
it's like a 4/6
exactly
counter can't be removed.
Right, and if you are to swing with him at your opponent, on your turn, you're swing with a 5k, and that's all that you're damage dealing. But then if they want to take care of it, they have to swing into it like it's a 6k.
Yeah, it's like having a 6k leader.
It's very, very nice. And then any little 5k swing that comes, you just rest that, and you don't have to pitch any counter. It's just so nice. I've seen a lot of decks that don't run this or run lower numbers of this. I think having this one is so nice. The one thing I guess I could see would be going down this to bring up the Maynard to keep that 1k counter and blocker count even. But I love that Borsellino so much. Even as a counter, it's really nice and feels really good.
Sure.
Getting that. And again, a Garp into a Borsellino does not feel bad.
I'm sure it doesn't.
And then last but not least, this is the most recent edition that I've been working with. It is 2 of the Puddings. Very well-known and infamous card in blue.
Heck yeah.
The 4/4 1k counter on play. If your opponent returns all the cards into their hand in their deck, shuffles it, and then they draw 5 new cards. This is what hit me yesterday in the mirror and was brutal. The fact that I was able to come back from that was just very, very lucky.
I thought the game was over.
No, you did.
Oh man.
But yeah, I only am running 2 of them right now, and again, when you have one in your life at the last life, and then one that you see through your Tashigi and Sengoku surges because she is not searchable, it does feel a little bad, but I was playing against Bonnie in the Sim the other day, and being able to putting Bonnie when there were 11 cards in hand.
Dude, decks are so greedy.
They don't expect it anymore.
What they're probably doing is okay, I'm about to drop Kit. He's not going to be able to remove it. I'm going to stock up my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope. Pudding.
Yeah, it's very nice. She's not coming to play too much because I just put that in maybe 3 days ago, so it's been a recent change I'm working with. But so far I do like it. I had the 2 Puddings taken out, and I had 1 more Blocker Law, 1 more Maynard. But just having the 2 1k counters rather than the 1 1k and the 1 dead card, that's having that little change is also nice if I need to just pitch that card for counter. But
it's so versatile too. Even when you want to try to tempo them out and swing in the board with your good bodies, or if you want to go for game, they have 10 cards in hand. You have 3 8Ks.
Yeah.
Pudding. Let's see what he gets.
Exactly.
8.
And even if you already have Pudding already established on the board, you could have do all your 8k swings and then Sakazuki ability, take one of those rested down, put it on the Pudding, and then also just have the rest of your down to play with for removing things, playing up blockers, moving the down around and attacking with. The fact that it's a 4k body helps as well.
Yeah, especially with like cards like Sables too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know like green purple is like really greedy and takes life aggressively. You could put sounds you putting back to their hand and then like putting them. Like a lot of decks don't play around putting right now, and I think it's just like
It's a bit of a mistake.
it is.
Forget about how good that card is.
It really is. You gotta punish people, guys. You gotta punish people.
So that's the profile.
That is the profile. Let's get into your matchup. So what is your round 1 matchup?
Yes, my round 1 matchup was the mirror match with Kuzan. The guy I was going against, I think he ran a little bit more of like an aggressive take on it. He runs one of Odin. He runs Red Rock. He plays. I think he goes more 2K counters and runs the. Gion?
Gian?
Gion, yeah.
Yeah.
That card came in very well in this match because it required me to send that card back to his hand with a Sables trigger, and then allow me to start using my Pheasant packs. But there was 2 turns where I only had like 3 or 4 cards in hand that I didn't want to keep it down up for Pheasant pack. I wanted to continue to develop my board because that would have taken more cards out of my hand. And the fact that his character makes me lose a card, even though it's Navy, doesn't trigger my leader ability. It's when one of my guys happens. So
Yeah.
It was definitely a nice little fear thing in there, but yeah, the gravity blade missing and hitting my Borsellino helped me a lot. The pudding hurt me a lot because we both had those 10 cards in hand, but it was just fortunate that I saw my top end where he didn't, and I was able to make a little bit more.
Yeah, that was such a good game. Brandon's you played Brandon, by the way. It was a Kuzan mirror, and Brandon's an absolute menace on that deck as well. So
we played against each other a couple of times. And it's always nice seeing how his take on the deck works because I'm still fairly new to it and adjusting and figuring out how to play this style and what always the right lines are. And seeing him go and seeing what he would do. We had maybe like the first 3 turns were the exact same.
Oh my god, it was card
for card. The only difference
card.
was I had 1 extra Don to play with, to swing with, or to do things. So it was very nice to see, okay, to learn from that and see how to do the right calls versus when to not do certain things. So that was the first round. Very close game. Probably down to my last life, and I was able to just, I had
The Sengoku play.
The Sengoku play, yeah, getting that Maynard out was immense.
Round 2?
Yeah, round 2 was the Red-Green Law. I haven't played a Red-Green Law with this deck. I think your dad's here. Oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you can come in. We're just doing a deck profile really quick.
Yeah, but the Red-Green Law, first time I played against that with this deck was very fun. I haven't seen that deck in a while. Last I think it was.
I haven't either. I think Dom was playing it.
OP08 or OP09 with Dofi on the sim. It's been a while, but it was really, really cool. Aramaki came in huge, bottom decking his Brook, bottom decking his Choppers, bottom decking all the little guys, so he couldn't use.
Aramaki probably auto wins that matchup.
Yeah, and then having the 11k swing into the Zoro when I do that was great, and getting counter of his hand, getting rid of the blockers. It was just very, very strong in that matchup.
Yeah, aggro matchup, slam Aramaki, win game.
Yeah, if you can last to the end of the game, just slam. That's what matters.
For sure.
And then the last one was against Yellow Calgara. I got so lucky in that match. I got a life trigger that hit a Sables that bounced one of his cards to his hand. I got a life trigger for a Grab Blade that bottom decked one of his, I think it was his 6/8 Calgara.
Damn.
And then my next turn, I played a Grab Blade to bottom deck the rest of his deck. And
wow.
It was just.
Grab Blade probably super swings that matchup.
Oh my gosh, Grab Blade and Sables was massive.
I don't know if he plays a card over 6 in that deck. Do you? I don't think that you do. Oh, 10 cost? That thing's playing 10 cost an L now?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Calgara's a Sky Island. So
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
But because of that right there, my opponent ended up having to scoop because we were getting ready for the Bills game yesterday, so couldn't spend.
Go Bills, baby! We won. Of course.
But I also was able to get some of my top end as well, and it was looking in my favor. I was able to Grab Blade Akuma as well as a Calgara, so I didn't have to worry about the him gaining a life at the expense of KOing Akuma.
For sure.
So just really, Grab Blade was huge in that match. That match right there was making me think maybe I want to go up and Grab Blade, but that and the Sables balance I think really works out.
Is that kind of another matchup where like pudding probably comes up clutch because they're taking their own life aggressively and drawing it, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That pudding, if it were to have come up, would have been huge, but fortunately he just was spending so much counter to keep cards alive.
Yeah.
And his hand size went down. Didn't end up seeing my pudding in that match, but it would have been very helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is great. Is there any changes, any tips you give to I know you're a relatively new player of the deck, but any general tips or any changes that you would make with the deck going forward and where you're kind of at?
Potential changes. I was considering about flexing in Red Rock here. I love that deck in blue as well, or that card in blue as well. But again, it's not searchable, and for the most part, having a Garp into something else to have a stronger body, especially in Aramaki, you can get that card up to a higher cost threshold to swing into those bigger characters. So I'm not fully sold on the idea of Red Rock yet, but then again, to deal with those green kids, with those Rosinante blockers, to deal with Red Shanks with that 4K,
For sure.
cost 6K blocker.
Helps in your bad matchups.
Absolutely. But no, not a whole lot of changes I'm thinking about making. I'm going to keep experimenting and playing with it to see what I could feasibly flex out, but I'm really liking where the deck's sitting right now. It's very consistent, even when my shuffling isn't. And it's fun to play.
For sure. Well, we really appreciate you showing up and showing out. And congrats. And thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, man.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here, guys. We will see you guys in the next one. Mafia out, baby. Woo!